Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tennessee Bar Association Legislative Update podcast. Today we have all three of us are here, and so Berkley, Schwarz, Ashley Harbin, Brad Lampley, and we have Aydan Hawk, who is one of our interns who's been working with us through the session. So welcome, Aydan. We're excited you're here.
Yeah, me too. I'm very excited.
Now, Julia Shortino, she was not able to come because she's our other intern and has been a lot of help, but she had something else going on. So, maybe next week we'll see.
Berkley, we tried to give Aydan and Julia some love at Day on the Hill last week, which was a rousing success, thanks in no small part to Aydan and Julia, and also knew with the schedule was amazing. I mean, it was laid out in such precision; it was really cool. But of course, Aydan and Julia were out working, so they couldn't come in to get their applause. So we thought we'd show them a little love by having them on the podcast today, and well deserved. They have done an incredible job this session, helping out with all the sections and everything else. And Ashley, I know you'd like to heap some accolades on them as well.
Well, I mean, Brad, I think you said it best. They have done a really great job. And one thing I want to note that Berkley and I flagged early on is when, amendments throughout session are just hard to keep track of. And because they're just thrown out and we try to get them to the sections as soon as we can. Some are filed, 24 hours before committee, which is when they're required to be filed. So sometimes we're able to get them quicker than that, but a lot of times we're not. And Aydan and Julia are so good about getting those amendments out to our sections. And that has been a tremendous help. So I just wanted to note that. But after this entire session, they've been great about scheduling meetings and sitting in committees, flagging bills for us, and they truly are the dynamic duo. So I'm very thankful for them.
And Aydan, you can vouch for this. When we get an amendment, we'll have some members. Maybe there's a member or two that's had a bad day and a little grouchy, and they go, "Why are you sending this to me? And why do I have to, turn it around in a day? Don't you know how busy I am?" Look, we're sending it to you as quickly as we get it, right, Aydan? I mean, it's a relay, is what it is.
Yeah, and there's definitely been some crazy weeks, and obviously me and Julia appreciate all the kind words, and just it, we've gotten settled in now, and it was a little crazy there, but just really appreciate all of that. So thank you.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Give us your background, give us the elevator speech so everybody can get to know you a little bit.
Oh well, Aydan Hawk, from East Tennessee, Greenville, if anyone knows where that is. Went to UT Knoxville, did a degree in finance and a minor in political science, and I've taken a gap year here to experience the Tennessee legislature, and I'm going to law school in the fall.
A lot of people take a gap year to go out and discover themselves and go to Europe and kind of figure out what they want to do in life. Aydan went to the legislature. Let that watch on you for a minute.
And it's a great experience.
He learned so much about himself, I'm sure, through that experience.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, Aydan, have you figured out where you're going to law school? Do you want to announce it here? You want everyone to hear where you're going?
I've got about 5 more days to decide, so I'm not gonna make an announcement. But
okay,
What's it?
we got some good options.
What have you narrowed it down to?
Wake Forest, UNC, Georgia, and a couple of wait lists. So
Wow,
that's a pretty good list.
Yeah, that's great.
Pretty good list. Wow.
You're in the law school application process. I'm in the college, or my son is the college application process, but it's an exciting time.
Berkley, would you like to make an announcement along those lines?
Well, my son has decided to go to Clemson, so he's very excited about that. I know. He's thrilled. He loved it. He fell in love with it. So we'll be sad when he's not around next year, but he'll be living his best life. So yay for him.
And you haven't been to Clemson yet. Have you?
No, he's been twice and he's going next weekend. I have never been. So,
You get to Auburn with a lake. That's what it is.
that's what I hear. And I also hear there's some, someone said there was good shopping. So I'm up for that. I'm up for exploring that and learning. So
I'm in Knoxville today. The Big Orange is, I'm up here for a board meeting, but the Big Orange is playing tomorrow night. So surrounded all the orange here. By the way, Aydan, I'm not sure if you've seen the new baseball stadium. It's right there. It is amazing. Absolutely. It's so cool looking. So, anyway, I may just stay through the weekend.
you
Let's
should.
watch this in. So, but I just love being in Knoxville. It's a great place to go. Just love it. And the Big Orange tomorrow night. Well, which tonight, but we sit up recording. So anyway.
And you
let's
know,
talk about
we
this.
haven't talked about this yet, but the TBA convention's in Knoxville this year, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah, what are the dates, Berkeley? When
Uh,
are the dates?
I have it
The
on my
first month of
calendar.
June.
Yeah, it's like, hold
It's
please.
June 1st through 30th.
It is not. Yeah.
No, I got it's June 10th through the 13th. How about
There
that?
we go.
Yeah.
So Ashley, you and I've got some other conferences we got to divide and conquer on, so we'll have to figure that out. That's gonna be a busy
I,
week.
I think so. And this year it's not on my birthday. The past 3 years I've been spending my birthday with the Tennessee Bar Association. So I missed it by one day.
It
Just
is.
a
It is
dream
on my
come true.
anniversary, and I know my wife will be excited. And once again, it's been her anniversary with. TBA
Yeah.
convention.
So many exciting things happening at the same time as the convention. Okay, so let's talk about now this last 2 weeks because we didn't have a podcast last week and we had Day on the Hill, Big Shrimp, which went really well. And Ashley and Brad, you were there to go to all the meetings, meet with all the legislators and all the TBA lawyers. We combined it with T-Ball, which is our Tennessee Bar Association leadership law program. And that was really fun because it added a whole new dimension and it wasn't just, different people who may not have normally got to come and be a part of the Day on the Hill. I heard Big Shrimp was packed and a great night. So y'all tell us a little bit about that.
In my opinion, we have Ashley and I, we do a lot of days on the hill. A lot of clients, have days on the hill. And not to rank them or anything like that, but that's as good a day on the hill as I've ever seen. And it has zero to do with really us. Well, actually, it's got a lot to do with Aydan and Berkley. Got a lot to do with you by laying out that schedule. But I can tell you, it's the attendance. That's what it was. We had so many members. I think we had like 90. And everybody showed up. And I got to tell you, the party at night, Big Shrimp was absolutely rocking. It was a place to be. Tons of legislators there. We had legislators, members of leadership that came early, left to go to another event, and then came back. I mean, it was just that never happens at Big Shrimp. So, Ellen, we had plenty of shrimp. The food was great. It was fantastic. Ashley, I don't know what your thoughts were.
No, I agree. I mean, as soon as I walked in the room, I mean, it was a party, right? It was full. It was, a lot of conversation. And so I saw a lot of TBA members talking with a lot of the legislators, which is exactly what we host the event for. So huge success. I mean, Brian, to your point, we've been to a couple of these now, and that was the most attended that I had been to this session. So I think everyone is loving having it at Hotel Indigo. We started that last year. And I just think the food's great. The scene is great. It's an easy walk from the Capitol, from Cordell Hole. So all in all, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, the other thing, and Aydan, this is one for you. I'll put you on the spot a little bit. I haven't told him this question's coming, but big part of the Day on the Hill is having plenty of meeting, right? And this time of year, it's absolute crunch time. You could just see the wear and tear on all of our faces because every single day feels like a week. And legislators aren't easy to get meetings with, but yet you and Julia lined up probably the biggest calendar of meetings that I've seen in years. And talk about, Aydan, how hard it was. Talk about the process of getting all that lined up, how hard that was. And I'm told by a certain House member that you and Julia kind of lay out like a game plan, like you're about to, you're playing in Game 7 of the World Series. So explain all that.
Oh, well, yeah. we do have a little we'll plan it before who's going to what offices. She normally takes the Senate and I'll do some of the House and then she helps me with whoever's left. But there were so many meetings that I was just kind of going to every door down the hallway and actually just checking it on the list. But we just go in there and ask and try to be convincing with how important our event is, and obviously with TBA, it's a pretty important thing. So it wasn't that hard to get meetings. I think it was just the volume.
Y'all did a
Well,
great
yeah.
job and even added several the day before because we realized that we needed some key members who we hadn't heard back from or they were waiting to hear from us. And y'all got right on that and made that happen too, which was really exciting too. And I think a lot of people were happy to add those specific meetings too. So it's great.
One other quick thing to add, and I neglected to mention this earlier. Every president gives out their President's Awards at the end of their tenure, and that happens usually at the convention in June. We handed out a couple this past summer to Brandon Gibson and Aaron Merrick at the governor's office for all their help with indigent. We held 4 back, and it was for legislators, and we wanted to be able to give it to them in person, and it's obviously hard in the off season to do that. We just decided, we're going to wait for Day on the Hill because part of the messaging this year, Day on the Hill, was just thank you for all that they did to help us create a new system of indigent and get that funded and hopefully get that system up and running. So what we did was we had them come into the room, 3 legislators. We had Chairman Todd Gardenhire of the Senate Judiciary, John Stevens of the Senate. He's on the Judiciary Committee, a lawyer from Huntington. And then Leader William Lambert, who's the House Republican leader, who's also an attorney. He's from Portland. And then we gave them their President's Award right there, which was a very nice surprise. And I will tell you, you could tell it really meant a lot to them. And then later that day, we took a group into the Lieutenant Governor's office and gave Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally his as well. And he was obviously very, very excited to get that. And, they obviously legislators get a lot of awards, but there was just something about the TBA one. And I think the significance, I don't know that we'd really done that over the years, at least I can remember. So that was a really cool thing about it too, Berkeley, that I thought just, again, made it a really nice touch to where the legislature certainly knew the TBA was there at that.
Right. I think that was a great idea. And who doesn't like getting an award and an actual real award, not an imaginary Brad award? So I think
Wow.
that's a win across the board.
Wow. Berkeley choosing balance today.
Yeah, very. Okay. So if you didn't go to Day on the Hill this year, put it down on your calendar. It'll be in mid-March next year, and it's worth attending. And Big Shrimp is very fun, and you really are just like shoulder to shoulder with all the legislators. It's really a great and easy way to kind of get to know people, other lawyers, and your elected officials. So let's talk about the last 2 weeks. They've kind of been, it feels like crazy, which, it's that time of year. Every bill we're working on is up, but little by little, we're kind of making our way through a lot of them, whether it's amendments or whether the bills are getting killed or whether we're deciding that it actually isn't that big of a deal and we're going to hold our political capital and let something go. Regardless, they're making their way through the committee process. And in fact, Senate Judiciary Committee closed this week. So they had 3 days of hour-long meetings. I mean, I was like, I feel like I've been in this room for the last 30 days of my life. I mean, straight. And that was a lot. And then, but they did it and they did it great. And then House Judiciary also flew through so many bills. They still have more to go and they're meeting next week. And Senate Commerce is waiting to meet, but you said GovOps is closed, transportation, both in the Senate, so it's kind of crazy when committees start closing because you're like, well, that bill didn't go before the committee. So I guess we're done with that, and then now many of them go to the House and Senate floor or go to finance if they need funding and decide, and the finance committee decides whether they want to add additional funding, which also brings me to this week was the week that the governor released his budget amendment, which is the recommendation for the budget that the finance committee uses when they go through and decide what they're funding and what they're not. They don't have to keep everything funded exactly the way the governor recommends, but it's a great starting place. And if there's money in there for something, for a bill, for whatever, that's a good sign. I mean, it could come out, but it's a great sign to be in there already. So lots of exciting stuff, especially for people who've been working towards getting things funded, has been the big hurdle the whole time, getting that governor's amendment out and going from there. So,
and then as we saw last year, though, that doesn't necessarily mean you're home free, right? And
Nope.
also, what's interesting about that, last year, I think we saw, what was it actually? Maybe 80, 90, maybe 100 million, where the legislature redirected what
That's
the
right.
governor's plans were. And so, we'll see what they do again this year. And I remember Leader Jack Johnson saying the governor gave us a good budget. We just made it better. But there will be, you got to get ready for some of that. If you're in that budget amendment from the administration, maybe maybe you're going to be in good shape. Maybe you're not. It just depends. You actually, sorry, Berkley, you mentioned a moment ago about, sometimes you just find out you're okay with bill. There's two bills, obviously, that you and I've been spending a lot of time on that are coming out of the real estate section. One of them was a split closing bill, and that one seems to be moving on pretty well. It kind of feels like that some of our folks are okay with it now,
As amended, right? Yeah.
as amended. Yeah, there's been a lot of different amendments on that, and some still don't like it, but some are okay with it, and it's really tough to sort of draw a bead on where we are on that one. There was another one, I guess, fraud in real estate transactions, and I believe that was 1970, House Bill 1970.
Yes.
That one has now been amended to be just fine. I mean, it makes some corrections and so forth. And our real estate expert, Joe Kirkland, says that one is good. He actually thinks it's a win. Essentially, in terms of trying to curtail real estate fraud, such as we all know about when Graceland was almost given away last year and so forth, we've had those issues. It's a problem. But in terms of having a comprehensive solution this year in the legislature, that's not going to happen. That's what that bill was intended to do. Not going to happen this year. But you're right. There's a time of year when stuff either goes or just dies, and it all happens basically, on a dime, very, very quickly.
That's right. And the adoption section worked out an amendment with Representative Renault that was great. That she had a bill that would waive home studies for certain adoptions of, not of non-relatives, but of, families that had had custody or placement of kids for 6 consecutive months, which I think a lot of our adoption attorneys were really concerned about. That it's fine in a lot of cases, and it would give the judge discretion, but they wanted to add some more safeguards. So we were able to talk to Representative Renault, add the safeguards, feel great about it, and that's moving right along. And then the extrajudicial adoption, so the adoptions that could happen without a judge present, that's another bill we're working on. Our adoption folks met with the lawyers who've been drafting that bill for the adoption project, and they're the ones, pushing that bill through. And I think we're working on some language right now. So hopefully we can get that to them and then go from there. So, and, I'm not really sure what's going to happen on that this year. But regardless, everybody's talking and we'll see. But yeah, I think when you see the final calendars noticed and things are coming, people come to the table one way or another usually, and you can hopefully work something out. So
the final thing I would add, Berkley, there's a little bit of interesting sort of behind the scenes intrigue, I would say, Ashley, about, certain committees. For instance, the Senate Commerce Committee hasn't met in a few weeks. They haven't made an announcement that they're going to adjourn, but there are some interesting bills that are still tied up in commerce. So that'll be a fun one to watch to see what happens. And it may be that there's nothing to it, but it may be there is something to it. So we'll see. Ashley, I'm not sure what
Yeah.
if you all just sit
Well,
down.
I know, Brad, I know usually I can find out the secrets for us, but I haven't heard anything about this. We're all assuming it's going to open back up, but then you hear, nope, they're done. I just think the amount of bills that were left in the committee, Brad, I think it makes sense that they would open back up. But they're not meeting next week. So we'll
And I'm
see.
sure, and I'm sure if we asked them, actually, it'd be just, oh, it's just a simple scheduling calendar issue than anything else. But,
That's right. That's right.
and with all things at the legislature, sometimes there's a backstory, and it's much more interesting. So we'll see.
Yep. There's
You'll just have to listen back in next week so you can stay
Right.
tuned on that.
the next Friday. More to the story. It will be revealed by Ashley. So that's your number one job is to get the scoop, Ashley, for next
That's
week.
right. I'll try it.
In addition to your day job, please stay on.
Yes. Yes. I'll try to stay on top of that as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, yeah, so we'll be back next week to update you. And I mean, not to put you on the spot, Aydan, but since you won't be here next week, I think you should tell us what your favorite thing about working with the TBA government affairs team has been, your favorite part of the last few weeks. Can you think of anything?
Oh man, all of you have been great.
Everything.
First of all, you've made it really easy on me, so I appreciate that. Just to see the behind the scenes work, with all the different legislation, I think has been really cool, and just thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you for doing it. Do you think this is something you want to do in your future? I mean, you kind of have it in your family anyway, but like, is this something you want to come back to after law school or wait and see?
I may consider it. We'll see how law school goes first.
I think that's a good answer. So,
Otherwise, you wasted your gap year, Aydan.
yeah, he'll have that inside knowledge though about how the laws are made, which
That's
is
right.
you
That
know,
could give you an advantage, Aydan. So you'll know about the policy and how statutes come about. So you'll have that advantage.
that's
What
right.
I be doing during my gap year, Berkeley?
What?
Fishing. Lots of fishing.
You know what I did during my gap year? I did not have one. I went straight through. And by the time I had to take the bar, I thought I was going to die. It was a lot. I mean, it's not like I was a doctor or something, but it just was a lot of straight through. So I think taking a year off in between is very smart and a good idea, no matter what you do, whether you fish or work with the legislature.
That's right. And I think, Aydan, didn't you just graduate in December? So it's really not a full, it's really just a semester, right?
Semester gap.
Julia graduated in December, so I actually got plenty of gap year time from May to
Okay,
December
you did.
to
Okay.
do a lot of different stuff. So
Okay, so it truly is a gap year. That's fine though. And
That
look at you. You're going to be so successful. You got into great schools. We're really impressed by you. So
You see that funnel proofing, Aydan, still trying to figure that out.
Okay.
yeah, what about UT, Aydan?
Yeah. No, that's okay. Don't put him on the spot, Ashley. I know he didn't get into UT. Sure.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. You know, so many good options. And Julia is going to law school too. So maybe she'll be here next week and she can talk to us and we'll give an update about Aydan and the Commerce Committee. Lots.
Right, link the update.
Yeah. Tune in next Friday. So, okay. Well, thank you everyone. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it. And we will be back next Friday and we will see you then. Bye.
Bye.